You know the first phase of this, we got the 3-phase program. The first phase is we're gonna set that foundation, the hypertrophy phase. But as you know, it's not just about the muscle, we're gonna get a little bit of hustle on there too. Starting with this first workout in that phase, it's gonna be shoulders and abs, and I know that sounds a lot of bodybuilding-ish, but we're gonna get to hustle and we're gonna get the muscle as well, and that starts with a good solid warm-up. So that warm-up, we're gonna kinda get you activated, get you prepped. It's a transition stage from normal activity to athletic activity. That's why we wanna warm up. So if you're ready, I'm ready, buddy. So Steve, we're gonna start you on your back, my brother. Just kind of lay down, almost like you're gonna do a crunch. We're not gonna do a crunch.
Okay.
And we're gonna do a hip bridge. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through it first. You've probably done stuff similar to this, and then we'll kind of coach it up as we go. So first thing, I need your head flat on the ground. And I want you to take your right leg, pull it up all the way tight and hug it. Hug it with both your arms like that. All right, keep it tight like that. Now from here, you can either have your toe up like that, or you can keep your foot flat. It's personal preference, okay. All right? And from here, I want you to lift your hips up as high as you can get them. But you see how you started to leave this out, so keep it pulled tight. Keep it hugged tight. Don't do a crunch. Up as high as you can. So do me a favor. Go up and hold it for 10 seconds, isometric, straight line from your knee to your hip to your armpit. And then after that 10-second mark, I want 10 dynamic reps with a second pause at the top. Keep your head down, brother. I know you got your hat on. Yeah, so you want to fight that tendency to try to use the front of your body. We want to try to maximize using the back of your body. Feel the difference?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
Just when you take the head out of there. Go ahead, switch sides for me, brother. So 10 seconds, you count while I'll talk. You be the muscle, I'll be the brains, right? Is that a deal?
That's typical for me.
All right, good. So up a little bit higher. So one of the things is we all spend a lot of time sitting on our butt, right?
Right.
So sometimes those muscles that we down-regulate are glutes and the mid-back muscles, and we tend to lose mobility in the hips and through the shoulders because of that. So we're gonna spend some time in the warm-up really focusing on just kind of up-regulating those muscles. Some people call this activation. It's really just lower level strength training is what it is, right?
Right.
So the main thing I want you to feel, and kind of the way to determine whether you're doing that right or not, is you're feeling it mostly in your glute. If you feel a lot of hamstring, it means that hamstring's taking over for what your glute's not doing.
I'm definitely feeling that in the
Yeah,
glute.
I can see you're doing it right, because I can see your facial expression change. All right. So speaking of glutes, so now let's flip you over so you're on quadruped position, all fours. So I want your knees under your hips and your hands directly under your shoulders. So what I want you to do first is take your left hand and put it on your right shoulder. So now we got 3 legs at a table. If you're grabbing this shoulder, I want you to use this hip, and I want you to make hip circles as big as you can go, clockwise or counterclockwise, you choose. I want you to keep this flatter. So imagine I took a cup of hot coffee and I put it on your back. Don't spill the coffee. A little flatter, a little flatter. There you go. Minimal movement here. Once you've done 10 one way, you're gonna go 10 the other direction. So by taking away that leg of the table, we make your torso muscles work a little harder. Much better on this side. And that's the nice thing about this. We can start to see, are you better left side, right side? Make sure you get both sides, my brother. Good. So what that does is the first one we did kind of got the glute muscles turned on. This one works them, but it also works them through a full range of motion. All right?
I like it.
So let's get you from here now. You're in all fours. I like these things to flow, kind of like yoga.
Okay.
In vinyasa, I don't know, I know you know a lot about training, but the word vinyasa means to flow. So we steal a little bit of wisdom from the folks in the yoga camp.
I've done a little hot yoga in my day.
There you go. All right. So we'll get you in push-up position. Let me see a good push-up position. Now from here, what I want you to do is kind of like people do a mountain climb, but you're going to do it in slow-mo. You're going to pull one knee in as far as you can, but the same thing. I want you to bring your knee up as high as you can, but minimal movement at the lower back. And when you pull it in, hold it for 2 seconds and pretend someone's trying to push your knee down, and you're gonna not let them push the knee down. You got it?
So I'm feeling this a lot in my core.
You got it. So give me one more.
And how many of these am I doing?
You're gonna go 5 each side, 2-second holds. All right, now from here, what you're gonna do, there's 2 versions of this exercise, and one of them we're gonna do in this warm-up, the second we're gonna do in one of the other warm-up sequences. So what I want you to do, watch me first, is you're gonna step your right foot where your right hand was. Okay. And I want you to get your hips down, chest up when you do it, so long as you can. At the same time that foot hits, boom, this arm is gonna reach really, really long. And then from there, your eyes are gonna follow your hand. You're gonna take it all the way around, and then you're gonna replace it, and then switch. So here, really chest up, hip down, long, big circle. As long as you can with it, and replace. We'll go 4 each side. So step where your hand was, long, big reach, come back. You got it. So this kind of gets
and I'm alternating?
Alternate sides. Yep, step where your hand was, long, chest up, hip down, big circle. and just breathing normal. So we open up the hips here, capitalize on what we did from that glute activation.
Yeah, I'm feeling this a lot in my glutes
Oh
also.
yeah. And also start to bring in that thoracic rotation. That's the other part of that sitting position. So get long and hold. And there you go. See, look at that sucker on now. So even more. Every exercise is an opportunity to get better, even the warm-up exercise, right?
I'm coachable, Nick.
Yeah, I know, brother. Beautiful. So let's lead right into now you on your feet, and we'll do shoulder-wise. And there's a lot of, you've done all these, probably these letters before, different things.
Like YTWs.
You got it. So we're just going to take one component of that because we don't want to gas out your shoulders, especially before we go into a more upper body warm-up. Mainly, we're going to focus on the low trap muscles. Again, fighting that sitting position. All right. So let's get you in like your best Romanian deadlift position from here. And a lot of people get this 45-degree torso like you are. I want a parallel torso to the ground. So hips up a little higher.
Like this?
There you go. Good. You can straighten your knees out a little bit more. 15 and come up about right there. That's what we want. All right. Big, strong back there. And now arms out like a Y, like YMCA with your thumbs up. Good. And pause for a second. And then let them come down nice and easy. And then back up again. And as you do it, I want you to think reaching long. So getting long arms out to the corners of the room as you do it and come back. All right?
Am I trying to keep my lower back and my abs tight?
You don't have to keep your abs tight. Just maintain this position for me. All right? So we're going to go 12 reps, 1 second pause each time. Don't jolt them like that, my brother. Nice and smooth. Pause for the picture. Down nice and smooth. We want to give these a chance to stabilize, and you also don't want to overuse your delts when you do it.
I mean, it's muscle isolation.
Absolutely. And we're also building that power pattern, right?
Yeah.
So you want to build some endurance back there. Nice work, brother. All right, so last movement. So we did what some people call activation, right? We got the glutes fired up, got them up regulated, we got the mid-back muscles. So now we want to start to get your heart rate up a little bit more and work on that springiness. So instead of a regular jumping jack, you're going to start with your hands like this, and your hands are going to open up like kind of higher as you go up. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is a lot of people do it this way, but this ends up like that, right? And now we're closing this in.
Right.
So when you go like this, it forces you to open up. So what I want you to is minimize ground contact time and look at the ankles. Look what I'm doing. I'm popping, pop, pop. I'm not just keeping my feet really relaxed.
So I'm going from here to here.
Yeah, there you go. So we're going to kind of capitalize on what we did with that Y. Nice. And I like the pop. Really good focus. Open up as much as you can. Good pop on the ankles. Good. All right, take a 10-second puff. I know they're not tiring, but we're not trying to gas you out.
Right.
And I want to do one more set like that.
So how many were doing with just
we
one
do
set
about
of this?
15 to 20 of these. Yeah, we're going to do 2 sets of these. So we do 1 set of everything else, the activation stuff. It's just low-level strength training.
Right.
We're going to do 2 sets of these.
Okay.
All right? Here we go. Good. Don't rush, but I want to pop. Pop at the ankle. Pop at the ankle. So we really want to try to refine what's called the myotatic reflex. It's a stretch reflex. As soon as you hit the ground, it creates load, and bang, you want to be able to fire right back off of there. Yeah.
Get you going a little bit.
Get you going. A lot better.
A
lot better than 8 minutes on the treadmill, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
So this will take us to the first exercise. We're going to do kind of unconventional shoulder press with an angled barbell.
I like it.
You ready?
Let's get to work.
The first thing that we're going to do, I know we say it's a shoulders workout, but we want to keep this athletic. So one of the most fundamental things athletes do when we push, we talk about how much you bench and all that stuff, is not just do overhead presses, right?
It's always here or here.
Yes.
Never here.
Horizontally or diagonally.
But big delts look cool too,
There
though.
you go, right? And what's the key from that? It's on your feet.
Okay.
So when it's on your feet, you don't have that bench supporting you. What becomes your bench? This, and this becomes your bench.
Okay.
So we want to take advantage of that. One of the best ways that I feel for that is to do what we call an angled barbell press. Now you can use this landmine device. Not a lot of gyms have it. You know, you slide the barbell in like I just saw. If you don't have one of these, take like an old shoe, throw it in the corner, and stick the barbell in the old shoe. Or, you know, just in between a machine or something if you're at a big box gym, right? So you don't want to ruin the wall. There's a couple key things to performing this properly so you kind of maximize your levers. That way you minimize any, you know, stress on the wrist and elbows. And I see a lot of people do this wacky. So the first thing is I'd like you to get a staggered stance. Why? Because this is how we walk, right? This hip with this shoulder.
Right.
Exactly. So we want to kind of maximize that. I want heel up in the back. That way you kind of have that athletic type stance. And this is the big one. Look, 90 degrees here. Why? Because if I go like this, now it's like almost like I put a lot of stress on my elbow. You see that? And if I get my elbow too far back, now it's just killing my wrist.
Too much on the wrist.
Yeah, yeah. So find a comfortable stance length. People say, how long? I say, just take a stride wherever feels comfortable for you, right? You're a taller guy than me. Yours is going to be longer than mine. So from there, I want you to stay fairly upright, because if you lean in, now you're doing a shoulder press. So you want to get here.
So this is pretty similar to almost an incline press.
Exactly, it's a standing incline press. You're going to keep this stiff, and you're going to press it straight out. Don't make the mistake, and I know we don't have any weight on this yet, because we're going to do the movement well first, then we're going to add some load. Don't press it over, because as soon as you get weight, it's just going to want to go right out of your hand.
Okay.
So keep it here, press it straight out, and come back, and I want you to keep this stiff.
So I'm not using any of my legs to push
No,
it.
that's a different version, but right now we want to focus just on the upper body.
Pretty much like upper chest, delt
Exactly,
isolation.
right. So that's the hybrid mix of, we're going to take away the lower body, so we still have to work a little more bodybuilding to build up the shoulder, but we're starting to integrate in the hips and core to maintain this position.
Let's load this up.
Absolutely.
I'm ready to get
You want to throw at least a 45 on there to start? That's warm-up weight for
Oh
you,
yeah,
right?
oh yeah.
All right.
How many sets, and what's the set and rep range we're looking for in this?
So I want you to do a kind of just 6 reps on this one. So what we're doing in this phase, in this hypertrophy phase, is we're doing 3 sets of 8 to 10, that very basic bodybuilder kind of range. So this is a specific build-up to this set. So go to the other side. So don't fatigue out. This is your warm-up set. This is where we're kind of figuring out what weight is going to be good for you to do.
Yeah, because I think that's going to be kind of a battle for a lot of people, is figuring out, you know, obviously they know the sets and reps we're looking for, but in order to find the weight that's going to challenge your muscle, I think they're going to need to find that out while they're warming up.
Exactly right. So I want you to find a weight right now that you think you can do at least 8 reps for, but no more than 10 in good form. Press it straight, good, stable you are. I think you can get 8 out of this. Keep that heel up, don't lean into the bar. Oh wait, get the extra. Yes, all right.
You thought I could get 8, Nick. Pretty sure that was 10.
Hey look, under promise, I under promise, you over deliver, right? This is an athletic movement. There you go, from the ground up. Stick it down.
Yeah!
You ready for that second set?
Let's go.
So we had about 90 seconds, 2 minutes. I think that was good for you. So I need a minimum of 8 right here. Heel up in the back, brother. On that last rep, control it on the way down. Alignment, then execute. Concentrate, hit it. Control every rep. There it is. Beautiful.
Getting a little sweat here. Getting a little sweat here.
Control down, nice.
Pretty sure that was 11.
There you go. Just arm on the way down. There it is. You got that Statue of Liberty on that last one.
That was killer.
That's it, baby. So now we're going to superset it. Why? Because the exercises are complex, they're compound movements, but they're not as complex as that. So like you said, we're kind of going to make the exercises the most complex in the beginning and then bring them down. So what I'm going to show you is this exercise called a rotational shoulder press. It's an unconventional, it's a twist on a shoulder press, and I mean that literally. So let me show you how to do it first. So with the arms is exactly what you would do with a regular shoulder press, like this. Watch, if I press with my right arm, I want to turn my left foot like that, like you're golfing, as I press, like this. Here, bring it down, bring it up. Now the tendency is to want to punch it out at an angle like that, and then the dumbbell's just going to fall.
Right.
So just bring in a little bit more torso and hip as you do it. And yeah, you could add in like a push press if you wanted, but we're not going to do that right now.
So I want to grab a weight that's going to be lighter than what I would do on a traditional stand press.
Yeah. So the first exercise is actually we're going to superset this with a single arm farmer's walk. So we're going to find our weight that we're going to use for this exercise here, and then we're going to change our location. So arms in front. Yep. Beautiful. Just try not to overarch your low back when you do it. There you go. So it's a straight press, straight line here. Good. Turn that foot all the way around. Nice. Don't let your feet get too wide. Turn all the way around. Beautiful. All right, Steve, let's rest it right there. Couple things. Don't let your feet get too wide. Right? You want to be here because you want to be able to stay in an athletic stance. And when you do it, watch my back. Don't push your hips forward.
Okay.
You want to keep this stiff. Boom.
So probably doing a much lighter weight than what you probably think you're capable of doing, just to execute the technique correctly.
Yeah. Right now we're keeping the set, in this phase, we're keeping the sets and reps really basic. We're staying in that kind of 8 to 10, you know, kind of zone. So we're going to do 3 sets of 8 to 10. What that means 8 to 10 is 8 to 10 per arm. So once again, you're going to start getting the heart rate up a little bit on this one. And then we're going to superset this when we change our location to the turf for a single arm farmer walk. What do you say, like 80, 85 pounds that you could do that one?
Yeah, should work. I mean, for me, my abs and my core are always pretty strong whenever I'm doing this. My chink in my armor, my weakness is my grip strength. So.
That's good. All right, so do me a favor. I want you to grab those 35s. We'll take them over there, and I'll grab the 85. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Yo! I'm bulletproof, baby.
All right, Steve, so we found your weight over there, so now we got everything kind of here, right? So if you're at a gym that doesn't have a turf track like this, obviously you just go somewhere that's got, you know, somewhere you can go about 15 yards up, 15 yards back. Right. A lot of times it's a group X room in a gym or something like that.
So how many steps are you thinking it's going to be? If you're trying to go 15 yards down, 15 yards back, what is that? Probably 15 or 16 steps back and forth.
I don't really look at it as steps with the one-arm farmer's walks you're talking about. I'm looking at about per arm, because it's going to be a single arm side, about 30 yards total. So here we got about 15. So 15 up, 15 back, that gives us about 30. If you've got 10, you go up, 10, you come back, and you go up. You know, that's how it works.
So really, you're just trying to say an amount of distance because you need a certain amount of time under tension. And that's what this training is?
That's what we're looking for. Yeah, and then we just add time. We can always just say, sometimes you can just say 30 seconds, 40 seconds. You can look at it that way, all right? So a single arm farmer walk, what I want is you're going to hold that dumbbell at hip carry, and I want you to try to keep your nose over your belly button. That way you're not the whole time, you're not like this.
So I'm trying to stand like this.
You're trying to stand fairly tall. I mean, obviously you're dealing with a lot of weight on one side. The reason why we have it just on one side of you is because in order for you to stay upright and control the offset load, everything here has got to maintain that, right? So this is basically a walking side plank. So first I want you to do the rotational shoulder press. So let's go again, 8 to 10 per arm. I'm giving you a window to work within. I'll let you go, brother. Just do it the way we talked about. Pivot the heel all the way around. Think about your hips or your belly button like a spotlight, right? And you want to shine that light around like a lighthouse. Good. Pick up the pace just a little bit for me. Control on the way down. There you go. One through the other. One loads the other. Remember, it's just like football. Stance first. All right, so now, single arm farmer's walk.
Oh, good. I don't want to get a farmer's stand.
Oh, you just Hulk Hogan'd it with I heard the I heard the seams busting.
So I want my nose over my belly button.
Fairly tall, and walk it out, brother. Yep, all the way down. Just walk.
Does the length of my steps?
Lean a little bit, it's okay. And you could go a little bit more natural. You don't have to be so RoboCop with it. Turn it around, bring it back, same arm. You can go a little quicker.
Yeah, I could definitely feel my oblique.
For sure. Yeah, a little bit of lean is all right. Now switch hands, and we go to the other side. Yeah, walk as normal as you can, carrying a big heavy load on one side. And I'd say that's about as heavy as I want to go with you, just because of how much you're leaning. A little bit is okay. There it is, brother. Down it goes. Maybe by the middle of this series, as your feet start to split apart, readjust your stance. There you go. I like that rotation. So what we're getting right now, every time you rotate, so right now on your right hip and right now on your left hip, we're getting internal rotation. You need that in order to be able to wind up through rotational activities like kicking, like throwing a punch, and changing direction. Now you got to sip air. Now you got to be able to breathe while you're a little bit tired. That's what happens in the game. Yeah, you can't not work your obliques when you do this. There you go. All right, take a little breathing.
Woo! We got another set of that?
Of course we do, man.
Woo! Come on! Let me know if I'm leaning back.
Oh, you believe it. Good. Smooth transition from one side to the other. There you go. Less leg, less leg. You're starting to look like an aerobics instructor now. There it is. We still got to focus more shoulder. 16 total.
16.
On that grip. Nice work, Steve. All right, come on. We got 30 yards separating you and I from the next series of exercises. Good control. Don't let that dumbbell sag. Come on, lock it in, lock it in, lock it in. Finish. You ready?
What do we got next,
You ready
Coach?
for? Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that question. So now we're going to get a little more traditional style bodybuilding. We've done some hybrid kind of stuff. So
That's my
we're gonna,
favorite.
yeah. So Steve, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna focus a little bit more on the bodybuilding type stuff. So we're gonna do a front raise, but it's kind of a hybrid. I'll explain it in a bit. Then we're gonna pair that with a shoulder shrug. Again, we're staying in that 8 to 10 zone. Traditionally, we either have the lateral raise or the front raise. Well, some interesting research came out and started to look at muscle activation versus stress on the rotator cuff. And it found that if we stay somewhere in this middle zone, which is called the scapular plane, if you work with a physical therapist, they'll call it the scapular plane, but you get just as much deltoid recruitment, but less stress on the rotator cuff. So we like that. Maximal muscle recruitment, minimal stress where we
More
don't
juice,
want it.
less squeeze.
And I want you to find a weight that you think you can do a good set of shrugs, and we'll talk about shoulder position. Some people are here, some people are like this. Find the weight that you think.
When I'm doing this shrug, let's say I'm gonna hit 90s. Am I gonna pinch at the top? Because I mean, people explain it different ways. You're gonna hurt your shoulder if you do it this way. I mean, typically for me, if I'm doing a range of 10 to 15, I'm just getting a slight pinch at the top and then letting them go.
I'm cool with that. Well, let's start you with there, 8 to 10 reps.
Now, am I gonna be holding it like this?
I want thumbs up. I want thumbs up. Yeah, neutral grip. Don't swing them up. Control them, and then slow eccentric. All right? So again, we're giving that window, 8 to 10 reps, and just above your shoulders is good. Slow them down. Perfect. And I like how you're not coming all the way down to your sides because it's basically wasted time. You keep some tension on the shoulders. Go a little bit wider for me, 45 degrees. There you go. Stiff elbow. Control the eccentric. Once you finish these, you just park them right down. Make sure they won't roll. Beautiful. Fairly decent posture for it. And let those pull you down. Let it stretch. Good. And again, we're getting that grip work. Nice. I like the control. Get to it, baby. Control on the way down. And I like how you're not extending at the low back. That's the ego shoulder raise. This is the correct shoulder raise. Squeeze at the top, let it stretch at the bottom. You're starting to get a little, there you go. That's it. Beautiful. Good. And I don't think you give yourself enough credit on your grip because I'm looking at the level that the dumbbell is at. The whole time, you're keeping that dumbbell parallel with the ground.
I said that my grip strength is probably my weak link. I didn't say it was weak.
And you can even get a little Arnold here. You know what I mean? Kind of get that mind-muscle connection. There's some benefit there from a muscle building perspective. The more isolated it is, the more concentrated you can get on it. So get them done, good form, 8 to 10. So we get you bigger in some of these other muscles.
You mean this is gonna make me bigger?
Oh.
Let's do an extra set.
The magic of hard work. We got 2 more kind of general strength training stuff, and then I got a cool little conditioning sequence for us to start to build that conditioning platform.
Okay.
Cool?
Yeah, I'm with it.
Brother, let's do it. We're gonna do rear delt fly and this arm walkout kind of thing. So I wanna kind of show you these real quick. Rear delt fly, small tweak, this will be a new one. We'll walk through it to make sure you get it correct.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna smash it. So look, traditionally when you do the rear delt fly, you hold the dumbbell center. This is a little heavy for me, but this is big boy weight, it's for you, right? And you come like this, parallel grip. That's cool. I want you to slide your pinkies to the bottoms of the dumbbell. So basically the pinkies are holding. Okay. And then keep the dumbbells parallel as you do it. Why? Very simple reason. Your rear delts are not just do this with your shoulder, but they also are external rotators of your shoulder. So by having the dumbbell out like this, what's the dumbbell doing now? It wants to internal rotate, so you have to use the external rotation component of it a little bit.
So I've always gone a little bit lighter and gone out further this way than versus going really heavy and coming right here.
That's your preference.
So
it's
really
it's your preference, right? Because all it really is doing is the distance of your arm to the shoulder.
Right.
It's all about mechanical advantage. So look, let me show you this. Watch. I'll show you kind of at this angle here. So look, what you'll do is kind of set up like you'd be in the ab wheel, but you want to have your hips forward when you do it. So I want a straight line like this. And your hands, or your wrists more specifically, aren't underneath your shoulders.
Okay.
I want them to start underneath your eyes. So there's my eyes, there's my wrist. Now, from here, keep everything tight. Just walk your hands out one after the other as far as you can. As far as you can. We say as far as you can until what? Basically, this is an anti-extension exercise. So your abs don't just flex, but they also resist extension.
Right.
So as you go out, gravity is trying to do that to you. So your abs need to work to remain
This is going to work your lats
stiff,
as well.
and your lats, yeah. So how far do you go out? You go out as far as you can and not feel pressure in your low back. If you feel pressure in your low back, it means your abs have just given up on it, right? You might be able to get your nose above the ground. You might only get, some people only get this far. It's harder than it looks.
Right.
And then when you walk it back, the one cheat is people want to push their butt back first, so they go like this.
Right.
You see, don't do that. You always keep your hips in
Forward.
So again, we're staying in that 8 to 10 zone. Squeeze, bring it home. Good. Hold for a second at the top. See, even keep the dumbbells parallel and control on the way down. And you don't even have to go all the way in front of your legs. Keep it just outside here. See, that keeps a little more tension at the delts. That whole bottom position is just turning them off completely.
No, I can definitely feel that.
You've been
First
around?
timer.
That's right.
Starting about right
So
here.
hips, no, hips more forward. I need more lover boy out of you. There you go, chest up.
About right here.
Yep, now walk out as far as you can. Good, and if you can squeeze your glutes at the end, you still got good tension, and then walk it back.
So is this far enough right
Yeah,
here?
absolutely. Look at him showing off. Bring it back.
Is this good, coach, or did I break the
Yeah,
game?
and then give it to me again. Give me 6 good ones like that. We don't want to sacrifice your shoulder joint. Good, so don't let your belly sag to the floor as far as you can, and push through the palms coming back. Good. Nice, Steve, nice and stiff. And then let your hands bring you back. Nice work, brother.
Woo!
Yeah. Went a little bit lighter. Yeah, we're focusing on what's happening outside. Nobody cares how heavy you go. We're training to the benefits outside the gym. And I like how you're stopping outside your legs like we talked about. More tension. And if you can squeeze your butt real hard on the way, all the way out, right there, if you can squeeze it there, you're in good position. If you can't squeeze it, you're probably not in the right position. I'm looking at if this goes further to the ground. I don't see that, so that's good. It means you're not overextending. So it's hard to do it correctly.
Man, I keep even feel this in my forearms.
Yeah. One more is going to do it. One more is going to do it. There you go. Control it on the way back. Control it on the way back. Nice. When tired doesn't work, you just get mad. So, you know. On the last rep, I want a little slower eccentric, just to show me that you owned it. Don't swing it. Don't swing it. Do it right. There it is. There it is. Nice. I need at least 5, even if you got to take a little puff in between each one. This isn't just abs right here, man. This is lats, shoulders, little tries.
One more, come on.
Nice work, brother.
That was killer.
All right, look, and I want you to take a full break now. I want you fully recovered, so we're going to let you rest about 5 minutes, get plenty of water, and then we're going to go over on the turf, or again, like a group X room if you don't have a turf. And then we got a little bit of, we call animal patterns, but they're kind of like moving planks, right? So a little bit of shoulder, a little bit of
Like
core.
a rolling plank?
They're like crawling planks, just think about it, all right? So take
I'm gonna need that 5 minutes.
Yeah, take a full breather. So Steve, so now we're gonna start doing a little bit of upper body and core kind of conditioning. relative to the hybrid conditioning phase, that's the third phase, this is just prepping you for it, right?
Okay.
So it's gonna make that, give you a better platform to be able to perform that, which is why it's so important to do this stuff first, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I want to do. We have 3 crawling patterns. You can think of these like moving planks.
Okay.
Planks are kind of boring anyway, right? So we're going to think about these like moving planks. So I'm going to get you here. I'm going to get over here. So let's start down on all fours. The first one is a tiger, right? So I'm going to show them to you first. We'll just go a few yards. Make sure we get the technique down, and then I'm going to set you loose, and we're going to throw in some skips in between. So
Let the
first
tiger
one,
loose.
that's let the tiger out of the cage. That's right. So first one, I want you on all fours,
Okay.
and then I want you to lift your knees just an inch above the ground, just like that.
Okay.
Perfect. Now, without wiggling your butt or arching your back, I want you to kind of move like a tiger and pretend that you have a hot coffee on your back and you're not going to spill the coffee. All right, good. And you can now start to lengthen your stride on the back leg. So get the leg a little longer. So look at me for a sec. Stop right there. Look at me. So now you go here. So the knee comes into the inside of the elbow. See that? All right?
Okay.
So do me a favor. Back it up and just try that now. Yep. And you want to kind of get that coordination of the cross body kind of thing going. There you go. Perfect. So next is the alligator. The alligator is a long stride and the knee goes on the outside of the elbow. So it looks like this. And you want to see how I'm dropping my hip over?
Okay.
And then from here, just pick this arm up, push off this foot, and reach.
So it's kind of a rotational.
Like
from-
that.
from
Yeah.
the core.
Yeah. So this hand is off. So it's like this now. Exactly right. So I'm always basically have, look, 2 legs of the table right there.
Okay.
All right, give that a shot. So get long with it. Sometimes these take a second to get. So get like, look at me.
So it's like this?
Now pivot. Yep, so now look back here for a sec. Look at that foot. You see I'm mainly on my toe here?
Okay.
So that way you have something to push off of. You don't want to be flat foot.
Okay.
There it is. Now really reach long. Now you got it. You pick it up quick. That's it.
I feel like a gator.
Now the last one, I have to get in front of you for this one. So we're going to let's go head this way.
Okay.
We'll be in push-up position. And watch what I do here. You want to try to stay straight the whole time. You want to try to minimize your body from rotating like this.
Right.
And you're going to cross your hands. You see where my hands are crossed, my feet are wide? Mm-hmm. And then when my feet go close, my hands are wide. And you want to fight the urge. Look, your urge is going to want to lift your butt up. You want to fight that urge. You want to stay here, like that. All right? So I want
What's this one called?
Called a spider.
Okay.
All right? So what I want you to do is just go about 3 steps to the left and then put the rewind button on 3 steps to the right.
Okay.
Good. Lower that butt a little bit.
So this is wide.
There you go. Yeah. Good. Now see what I was talking about that butt coming up? Mm-hmm. There you go. Keep the knees stiff. All right, now bring it home. Good. So what you keep doing there, it's all how you start. Reason why you felt off balance is every time your feet came together, your hands came together.
Right.
So the way you start it is start it with one together and the other apart.
Okay.
And that way it always works. There it is. See, feel the difference? It's all how you start.
For sure.
Now bring it home. Nice. Okay, good. Whew. And that's all right. We like that coordination. We like making you work a little bit.
It is coordination for sure.
So here's what we're going to do. We got about 20 yards here. So what we're looking at is I want you to go 10 yards for a crawl.
Okay.
We're going to do 2 rounds of every crawl, which is 6 total, right?
Well, that's a workout.
First is tigers. At the 10-yard mark, you're going to just pop up. You don't have to jump up or, just come up. Do a light skip. I'm not trying to kill you with the skip. Do a light skip to the rest of the 20 yards, so another 10 yards, right?
Right.
And then a full 20 yards back. So it's a 10 yards of a crawl and 30 total yards of skipping.
You got it.
And then you're just going to go back to back to back to back to back.
Right. Tigers first.
Let's start with tigers first. The animal's out of the cage.
All right.
Stay solid on knees, knees up, knees on the inside of the elbows. Try to move the knee and hand at the same time, opposite side. There it is. Yep. Sometimes you get the coordination and then you lose it and then you regain it again. Try to move one leg the opposite shoulder. That's better. All right, hop up, light skip, more like this. There you go. I want a better looking tiger.
That was a sick tiger.
That was a deathbed tiger. We want a tiger on the hunt.
All right, so we want to start right leg.
Yeah, there it is. Now we got it. Now we got it. Pretend like you're balancing hot coffee on your lower back. You're not want to crawl and not spill the coffee. You've heard photographers tell you that before.
Man. This is frying my hip flexors too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Nice, turn those hips. Longer reach, longer reach, long reach. Lead with the arms, reach. One more. Now you're up. Look, use that bounce. Don't use your hip flexors to do it. Use that bounce to get up there. Reach, reach. If you do this kind of stuff, you don't need to do boring planks, elbow planks and stuff. All right, here we go. Just like a boxer, sticking and moving. So let's start. Yeah, there you go. Feet wide, hands together and cross. And then as your feet open, your hands close and vice versa. And you're not letting your hips get high, so don't let them get any higher than your shoulders. Keep it going, brother. Keep it going. Starting to build that conditioning base. You got to learn to be able to sip air. Okay, done. Stay relaxed on the skip. That's why we do this. You got to be able to stay relaxed and just let that ground help you out. It's not always muscle contraction. Use that springiness that you have. Sorry, brother. Nice and smooth. Get those wrists underneath your shoulders more. You're making it harder on yourself. Not so far out. Steve, look at me. Your hands are here. Bring them underneath your shoulders.
Okay.
There you go. Now do it. Get it done, one at a time. One more step. Final lap.
Oh.
Yeah. So tell me, while I got you just after this, how did that feel?
You want me to talk right now?
I want you to talk right now. Yeah, yeah.
It was tough. There's a lot more muscle recruitment than I anticipated it would be.
Couldn't be more proud of you, brother.
Appreciate it, bro.
Thanks for the inspiration.